Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into everything there is to know about BALERION, the Black Dread. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. BALERION, the Black Dread, was a dragon of House Targaryen. He was ridden by King Aegon I during the conquest, alongside his sister Visenya's Vhagar, and his sister Queen Rhaenys Meraxes. Other known riders of BALERION were King Maegor I, Princess Arya Targaryen, and Prince Viserys Targaryen. BALERION died of old age in 94 AC during the reign of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen at more than 200 years old. BALERION's scales and wings were black. His fire was black, sometimes with swirls of red. When he was in the fullness of his power, his flames could melt steel and stone, and fuse sand into glass. BALERION was the largest of all Targaryen dragons since Aegon's conquest. His wingspan was so large that his shadow could engulf entire towns when he passed overhead. His teeth were as long as swords, and his jaws were large enough to swallow an auroch whole, or even one of the hairy mammoths that are said to roam the cold waste beyond the port of Iben. By 93 AC, BALERION had finally stopped growing. He had grown sluggish and heavy, and was difficult to rouse. When Prince Viserys Targaryen claimed the dragon that year, the dragon struggled to take to the air. Prince Viserys believed the dragon no longer had the strength to fly from King's Landing to Dragonstone. BALERION was willful, and not a beast to trifle with. BALERION was named after an ancient god of the Valyrian freehold. He was born in Valyria, and one of the 5 dragons Aenar Targaryen brought with him when he fled Dragonstone to survive the doom of Valyria. After the other 4 of Aenar's dragons died, BALERION became the last creature to have seen the freehold in its prime. BALERION was eventually claimed by Lord Aegon Targaryen, sometime before he married his sisters Visenya and Rhaenys. Aegon became involved in the wars in the disputed lands when Pentos and Tyrosh approached him, inviting him to join a grand alliance against Volantis, and he chose to heed their call. Mounting BALERION, he flew east to meet the Prince of Pentos and the Magisters of the Free City, then flew to Lys in time to set ablaze the Volantine fleet trying to take the city. Afterwards, Aegon turned his attention to conquering the 7 kingdoms, during which he flew on BALERION. Aegon descended on Lords Mutin and Darklyn, killing both of them during Aegon's first test. After the Ironborn victory at the Wailing Willows, BALERION burned the victors on the God's Eye. Next, Aegon took BALERION to Harrenhal, where Harren, or King of the Isles and the Rivers, had taken refuge in his formidable fortress. When Harren the Black had not yielded by sunset, Aegon took BALERION high up and descended into the castle's walls, putting the new castle to flame. BALERION's dragonfire burned so hot that the towers of Harrenhal went up like candles, melting and twisting into the shapes they retain to this day. King Harren and his remaining sons all perished, ending the line of House Orr. The men of Crackclaw Point quickly surrendered to Visenya after learning of the burning of Harrenhal. Aegon next rode BALERION in the Field of Fire, beside his sisters on Vhagar and Meraxes. Between the 3 dragons, 4,000 men were burned to death, including Mern the 10th Gardener, King of the Reach, resulting in Targaryen victory. When Aegon learned that Torrhen Stark, the King of the North, had crossed the Neck and was leading an army into the Riverlands, he raced ahead of his army on BALERION to meet the threat. When the Targaryen host was encamped at one side of the Trident and the northern host on the other side, Torrhen's bastard brother, Brandon Snow, offered to assassinate the sleeping dragons, recalling the destruction the 3 dragons had caused at the Field of Fire. Torrhen insisted and then submitted to Aegon in the end. After Aegon was crowned by the High Septon, he was cheered by thousands of onlookers as he flew on BALERION through the streets of Old Town. According to song, at the end of the war, BALERION helped to forge the Iron Throne by melting the swords of Aegon's fallen enemies. In 2 AC, Aegon flew his dragon to the Iron Islands to end the succession struggle among the Ironborn. Aegon flew BALERION through the First Dornish War, finding Sunspear abandoned when he arrived. Dorne rose in rebellion after he departed, however, and Lord Orys Baratheon was mutilated by the will of Will. Aegon retaliated by burning several of House Will's keeps, and the king later attacked Sandstone Vaith and the Hellholt, with the aid of Visenya. Aegon burned Skyreach, and House Fowler attacked Nightsong. During the 2 years of the Dragon's Wrath, following the death of Rhaenys Targaryen, each Dornish castle, with the exception of Sunspear, was burned multiple times by the vengeful Aegon and Visenya. King Aegon made frequent royal progresses through the Seven Kingdoms. Besides allowing the new monarch to learn about his subjects, the sight of Balerion during these visits also helped to prevent rebellion. After the death of King Aegon, Balerion was claimed by his younger son, Prince Maegor, who had long coveted his father's mount, and had not claimed another dragon because he considered all others unworthy. After Jonas Arryn imprisoned his brother Ronald, the Lord of the Eyrie, and declared himself independent of the Iron Throne, Maegor rode the Black Dread to the Vale of Arryn and put down his rebellion. When Maegor was exiled to Pentos as punishment for his polygamous marriage, he took Balerion with him. After the death of his elder brother, King Aenys I, Maegor flew back to Westeros on Balerion to claim the Iron Throne. During the Faith Militant Uprising, King Maegor used Balerion in the burning of the Sept of Remembrance and in the battle at the Great Fork of the Blackwater Rush. In the Westerlands, the king burned the seats of Houses Broom, Doggett, Falwell, and Lorch. Maegor threatened to attack Old Town as well, but the city opened its gates to the king after the unexpected death of the High Septon. In the battle beneath the God's Eye, Maegor used Balerion to kill his nephew Prince Aegon and his dragon Quicksilver. After the completion of the Red Keep, Maegor began constructing the Dragon Pit to house Balerion, Vhagar, and other dragons. After Maegor's death, Balerion returned to Dragonstone. In late 54 AC, Princess Aeria Targaryen claimed Balerion from the yard of Dragonstone one morning. They disappeared and went missing for more than a year. King Jaehaerys sent expeditions to try and locate Balerion and the young princess, and the Master of Coin, Rhaego Draz, offered a reward for any information on their whereabouts. But none came forward that were credible. Balerion was the largest living dragon in the world, but there were no sightings of the dragon anywhere. Septon Barth believed the lack of sightings suggested that Balerion was no longer in Westeros. Rhaena Targaryen departed on Dreamfire to search for Balerion and her missing daughter. Balerion returned to King's Landing in 56 AC, descending into the courtyard of the Red Keep with Aeria barely clinging to him. The princess was severely ill and died soon after. Barth's accounts describe wounds and half-healed scars on Balerion. The dragon bore a huge, jagged rent down his left side, almost 9 feet long, and fresh blood still dripped from the wound, hot and smoking. Barth speculated that when Aeria claimed Balerion, she was unable to bend the dragon to her will, and instead the dragon had taken her to the place where he had been born, Valyria. Shortly after, Balerion became the first dragon to be housed in the Dragon Pit, where he was guarded by the Dragon Keepers. Prince Baelon Targaryen smacked Balerion on his snout the first time the boy entered the Dragon Pit. When Princess Alyssa Targaryen came to the Dragon Pit to claim a dragon of her own in 75 AC, the Dragon Keepers persuaded her to not try and claim Balerion, insisting that the dragon had become old and slow, suggesting to her that she would much prefer a faster dragon. The last rider of Balerion was Prince Viserys Targaryen, who entered the Dragon Pit to claim the dragon in 93 AC. Balerion was hard to rouse, and struggled when Viserys urged him to the sky. They flew around King's Landing 3 times, although Viserys later confided to his father that he had originally intended to fly Balerion to Dragonstone. However, fearing the dragon lacked the strength to do so, Viserys opted otherwise. Balerion died in 94 AC, less than a year after Viserys claimed him as his mount. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen named her Black Kitten after Balerion, and the girl often pretended that her cat was the actual Black Dread. Along with 18 other Targaryen dragon skulls, Balerion's skull hung on the wall in the Red Keep's throne room. After Robert's rebellion, King Robert Baratheon had the skulls removed from the throne room and stored in the Dark Cellar. In 284 AC, when Tyrion Lannister visited the capital for the wedding of his sister Cersei to Robert, he observed the skulls in the cellar, including Balerion's. So what did you guys think of Balerion the Black Dread? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.